Welcome back to Lightmatter. I got back to this spot without listening to the dev commentary, because we have heard it already. And like I said last time, I didn't want to just skip ahead a level in case there's like a secret lux or an achievement or something. So let's just continue on here and not jump into that corner, the corner of death, and instead just like look over here. Oh, a dog. Hi, doggy. No achievement for that, though. No one talks about dogs in this game. Only cats. Okay, well, there's that. We have all three lamps. How do I do this again? Oh. Wait, oh, yeah, that's fine. You just leave the lamp there. Because now I can take these out, and that's all I need. I just need 2 lamps. I don't need all 3 over there. Yeah, that was the entire puzzle, is you start with 1 lamp here, but you need 2 lamps here. So yeah, good. Just want to avoid getting that dev commentary. I don't want to listen to it right now.
So, journalist.
Nothing else here. Wow, that is some high definition shadows. Alright. My settings aren't different, right? I'm pretty sure they're the same as they've always been, yeah? Sort of medium-ish. Even though I could probably run on high, because the weird like performance isn't really because of the settings. It's just the game, unfortunately. Alright, we'll just interrupt him.
So this level started out
no
as an attempt
jumperino.
to make a puzzle where we enforced that players couldn't jump with the portables.
I
So
see.
it started out as an idea with you having to get the portable lamp up to onto a platform somehow with the help of an elevator. And we actually
Can't
had
you-
something that looked completely different from what it does today, but it just wasn't challenging enough. So this is one of the puzzles that has actually been worked quite a lot on. It has changed.
Guess you
a lot
can't.
Of times. But we kind of found a concept towards the ending of the original puzzle where you had to strafe with a lamp to get past a gate that this puzzle.
Oh yeah,
uses
over
a
here.
lot today, and then we built from there.
Yes.
So what the thing that really makes this level stand out is that you have to strafe not once but twice.
Mm-hmm.
You do?
And Lasse, is there some? What is the
Burger.
challenges level design wise about doing strafing this way?
Well, it's funny.
What kind of
because
question is that?
I'm a gamer.
Oh, cake.
And to me, it makes
Wasn't
total
there-
sense that you can strafe with a lamp, walk sideways. But to a lot of testers,
This one.
it did make sense, and especially the ones obviously who hadn't played a lot of FPS games before.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta sneeze.
Yeah, like when I discovered that, okay, I can walk sideways, I felt all powerful.
But it seems weird that to some people it doesn't occur to them that they can walk sideways, and if they don't,
Oh, man,
know that,
walking
they
sideways.
obviously don't know how to solve this puzzle at all. So there was talk about having a primer at some point before
Yeah.
entering this puzzle. That was kind of giving the idea that you could strafe with the lamp as well.
Mhm.
But I mean, once you get the strafing part, it's at least for the first part, it's pretty straightforward. Then for the-
Straightforward.
straightforward. Then for the second part, there's a bit more challenge where you have to realize that the bottom part of a window isn't covered up, so you can illuminate a floor besides the gate you have to surpass. And that's a very important detail, because if you don't do it correctly, you can't.
Hold on.
Like, you don't have a safe ground to stand on when you go past the gate, and you have to turn the lamp to illuminate your way to the exit.
Mhm.
But obviously, removing the lamp from the sensor closes the gate.
Yeah, like these gates that is there a reason? What was the reasoning behind them like opening and closing so slowly? That because there is this dark area below them when they are opening and closing, especially opening underneath them for a long time, like a couple of seconds. Like,
I think it's actually like they're moving quite fast. It's because it's some of the only gates that open from the top and down, and not the other way around. But that's because we had to kill the player quickly if they somehow managed to get on the other side. Like that time it would take for the gate to close, they would still have the light to run on, and then they could break
It
the
was
puzzle.
too breakable at that point.
Yes.
Like I remember first making the gates that went up and then thinking, okay, I'm going to have to flip this metal upside down.
nice.
Yeah, but this was the room that had so many iterations, and with every iteration I thought, oh, this is going to be light beam production, or they're going to have offices upstairs, and downstairs they're going to have some other thing that they're overlooking. And there have been so many that it ended up having such weird corners and levels.
And a gate in front of a window.
Yeah, it just did not make any logical sense to be an actual place.
No.
So it ended up being a repurposed place that probably served some function before, and we just put offices and some workshop stuff.
And some light sensor.
Is that another dog? I can't tell.
I just disassembled the light sensor into the smallest bits possible and littered it all over the workshop desks.
This is also one of the levels that is, to me at least, the most...
Where's that cat? Or like an
like
owl?
puzzle, like
I can't
it doesn't
even...
feel like a place.
I have no idea.
It's more like a...
It's something furry and or feathery.
Test chamber, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But I hope we went for a repurposed feeling enough.
There we go.
Yeah, exactly. And this is also like one of the levels where I decorated quite a bit in with the small stuff. Like
Hold
one
on.
example is those arrows on the floor on the bottom part, which is like something we wanted to do.
What's this
to,
about?
Like give the idea of machinery moving here back and forth, and it's been it's a busy enough place with a lot of work that you needed these kind of markings to go around and like making it.
Oh yeah,
sometimes
strafe
seem to be
twice.
silly,
This is what they
but
meant.
In the end, it ended up like making it look different, which I think is almost sometimes more important than having it make total sense. And one of the biggest like
Another cat?
difficulties doing these kind of arrows is that you need them to come from somewhere and end somewhere that made sense. And I can say that this levels, especially, it doesn't make sense where the arrows they end. It's just like in a dark corner behind.
I guess that's because there are so many levels.
What is that? A spider monster?
You can't exactly like take a cart that
On the left
would
there?
be led by those arrows. So no, not at all.
But then you can also say like
I
we have
can't even
huge
tell.
tiles with huge dents in between.
Yeah.
So it would be
No, I
like
made
it
pretty
would-
big wheels on most rollable
but
things.
it would be very
some of them would get stuck.
yes, and very unpleasant to drive with or drive on. It would be a very bumpy ride at least, and with fragile stuff.
But that point in development
Talking about
was
the floor?
when we were really pressured for time, and there were so many levels to decorate, so I couldn't do it alone, and I thought I need help, and Philip was there.
Yeah.
So suddenly we turned him into an artist.
Yes.
I'll make an artist out of you, and
Yes,
look at
that
me
was
now.
that moment.
But it was one of the more challenging levels. Also because of the levels in the level, like you having to see the exit at certain points, so you know where you're going, and kind of deduct that, like the first part where you have to strafe, that whole room that goes downstairs is one part of the puzzle. Once you have the lamp past that point, you don't really need it anymore.
Yeah.
Then you just need the two lamps to complete the last puzzle, which is the L-shaped puzzle.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you mean by that? You do need both lamps. Huh? Which lamp do you not need anymore? There were only 2 lamps in that room. And you needed the first one to shine on the part that you strafed with a second one? I don't know. But yeah, not really too much to talk about in that one. It was a pretty lengthy log, but again, they're just talking about the level, kind of mostly visual stuff and designing it. Not really any major revelations or anything. So yeah, no comments beyond that. Let's listen to more.
This level is not a puzzle.
Midway Hub.
It serves as a kind of a
Oh,
break room.
I
if you can
see.
call that.
Trading cards.
We found out during testing that the puzzle you just came from and the next one you're gonna experience, those two were very tough on the testers. They were at the end of the test. They were very exhausted and
almost giving up.
They almost gave up during the puzzles. So we had to introduce a break in between the two and remotivate the player. And that's why we chose to, in this section, kind of hint about the next section of the game. The player obviously don't know that they are going to...
There's a big-ass banana. And very pointy, too.
Futuristic door later in the game. But it still gives an idea.
Yeah, I like this part.
And piques their interest on what's behind that door.
Yeah, and also the VO...
exactly, you're like, I want to go in there, and then you don't.
So
but later on, you do.
I wonder if I get in there at some point. Yeah.
Oh, it's this way.
Yeah, and actually, this is also one of the levels where we had to make room for the voiceover to kind of explain some stuff before you just proceeded to the next level. So we had to kind of extend the path to the next level. And that's why it's very dexterous, this level. There's a lot of jumping and stairs and falling down places and maneuvering around, like taking not the shortest way because it's covered in darkness, but kind of a longer way to make the VO reach its end.
Yep.
Yeah, and also on this
makes sense
journey before you get to the door.
Wow, really? Come on.
The sound to make this room kind of feel alive and give the
More
player
cake?
the feeling that there's something outside of this room. Sound-wise, we put in 3D sounds of machines, actually not visible in the level, but just to
give the sense
that this is actually very, very huge, and also makes them excited of what could be behind the door.
Yeah, so we put a lot of emphasis on framing the big door to the research and development to
so much cake.
Basically keep the player interested in what happens next.
Yeah.
We also reached a point where we've kind of exhausted all the possibilities we could come up with for the portable lamp, and we could feel the player needed something new, and that's what they're gonna get into when they go through that door.
Yeah, and also the door is different from all the other doors, so that kind of make.
It indicates a new area. It is kind of like a hub that splits between the different areas of the game.
Once again, not really much to talk about there. I guess this is the no discussion episode. I just listen. But yeah, I'll have you know, I am trying to click on every single piece of cake or burger or whatever that I see. I keep clicking in case something happens. I don't think it does, but you never know. I just don't know what the whole burger or cake or coffee thing could even be. But we'll see, I guess. Let's listen to one more. This level, one of the hardest in the game, I will say, or at least for me, but we'll see if they talk about that at all, or if it's just, design talk again.
So this is...
Oh god, wait. That's Square Practical God? Or maybe that's not actually God. Maybe it's good.
Another level that was made originally with Lego. We had a session where
I can see that.
wanted
This level does actually kind of feel quite Lego-y to me. So yeah, that makes sense.
to have a lot of things turning and moving around. Before we had kind of these fans that were rotating, and this is kind of the same, but just rotating more like
And this level was
in a
nerfed.
square, so to speak.
You can't skip it.
We built the level in Lego where you had these buttons you can push and these kind of platforms or wagons that you can move around, and you put the lamps on top of them and then you send them away. And it was interesting because the lamps that you send away, you need to be careful what direction they are pointing because you need the light from the lamps. So the whole idea was that you have multiple lamps and platforms, and you put them and you send them away, and hopefully you don't die in the process. So when we made the level, it was kind of confusing and
Might as
quite
well.
complex in Lego. But then we got some of the rest of the team to come and playtest it, and clearly there was something in this level that was interesting because we could see that just figuring out what direction to point the lamps was interesting for them. And when you play the game, or when you play the level from above, like with Legos, you have a much better overview. So oftentimes the puzzles are much easier in Lego format. But here it turned out that this level was actually quite difficult. So we knew we had something, and then we started making.
Wonder
it
if they'll
in
talk about
Unity.
this.
Yeah, just a simple, like, format,
Yeah.
tile-based.
Yes.
Very easy. And I think the interesting thing is also, depending on how you rotate the lamp and send it away, you get a different result.
Oh,
And obviously
shit.
you have to...
Stop. I gotta retry. This is unfortunate, but I now need to listen to this commentary until I get there. Ah, that's kind of annoying.
This is yet another level that was.
How
made
could I have
originally
missed
with
Lux
Lego.
like several times?
We
That's
had a
crazy.
session where we wanted
Well,
to have a
guess
lot
I
of
might
things
as well play around
turning
with
and
this while I
moving
listen
around.
then.
And it was interesting because the lamps that you send away,
It's weird that it's
you need
different.
to be careful what direction they are pointing because you need the
It
light from
changes
the lamps.
speeds
So the whole
at
idea was that you
random.
have multiple lamps and platforms, and you put them, and you just figuring out what direction to point the lamps was interesting
I give
for
up.
them. And when you play the game, or when you play the level from above, like with Legos, you have a much better overview. So oftentimes the puzzles are much easier in Lego format. But here it turned out that this level was actually quite difficult. So we knew we had something, and then we started making it in Unity.
And now we
Yeah,
wait.
Just a simple, like, format,
Yeah,
tile-based.
Yes.
Very easy. And I think the interesting thing is also, depending on how you rotate the lamp and send it away, you get a different result. And obviously you have to foresee how you need to place it and push the button to send it away.
Yeah.
And there's also something about, since it's a square pattern they move in, they also come back to you. So you have to calculate, how do I need to place this? If, for instance, I need to get it to
Now
the
they're
last
talking about
station
the
away from
upstairs,
you
I think.
to illuminate something you need, or whatever it was. And actually, this level now consists of 2 puzzles, and the one Gustav just talked about is the original one, and that's the one that you'll find upstairs. So the downstairs one, that only has 2 platforms moving in their own patterns, on their own tracks, back and forth.
Another
And that
primer.
was kind of, we felt like we needed a primer, because
There you go.
through testing we found out that the original one was too difficult.
Yeah.
People couldn't like, there was, I don't know if it was an information overload or they just simply didn't have the overview.
it was
of the-
both a big puzzle, like physically it was quite big, but
Yeah.
also understanding this concept, and it was just a lot of new things at the same time.
Yeah. It is also it tricks the player.
Yeah.
In especially the last part of it.
Yeah, I struggle
so yeah.
with that.
Designing the primer was,
Because, yeah, the thing about that is, like, since you have the moving platforms, for some reason it feels like you should find a solution where the lamps are on the moving platforms and then illuminate the thing that you want to be on. But that's the trick. You're not supposed to have a lamp on the platform. You're supposed to have it off the platform, because then it doesn't get changed when you press the button. So yeah, that was really tricky. I like the puzzle. I like it a lot, but man, was it hard to figure out for me. I just didn't really grasp it very well. Let's continue.
It's done in a separate level, actually, but we felt that having 2 of these levels right after each other, like, they pretty much looked the same. Of course, there were subtle differences, but we thought that it might be cool to combine them into one level. So we had the primer downstairs that you would encounter first, and then you would make your way through that upstairs, and then play the original version of it.
Also one of the longest levels, I feel.
It did present some problems.
A lot of problems.
Yeah, checkpoint-wise upstairs it was, but also we didn't want the player to be able to jump down onto the level downstairs when they were upstairs.
Why not?
If they landed in a light source, they were stuck. Because it you have to move the lamps in the right direction or the right order to make it.
But then you could just have the checkpoints, like always put them up at the top floor, right?
So we had to.
That wouldn't be a problem
blocks
necessarily.
that would prevent you from jumping downstairs. That's also why there's so many platforms in this one.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're gonna mention
when you get
Lux
to the
in
end
this
of the
one.
level, you get to a story-based event that we needed to fit in here somewhere. It felt right to place it here since the pacing kind of aligned or led up to this point. And it's this not magical, but this mysterious elevator that you have once again been chasing to get out of the facility.
Once again.
And that's the coffee thing I'm gonna check.
The elevator breaks.
Yes.
It became kind of a meme here in our studio.
It is a fun thing. It was. We actually had more elevators throughout the facility early on. I think it was because the idea of you crashing in the elevator in the beginning of the facility or the game, we felt that it would be weird if you just had a door that led out into freedom. You had to go up somehow still, and we did want to put in just a bunch of stairs. That was I guess too boring. So we put in this elevator as well, and obviously it crashes, as you know. And a fun thing here was trying to design a way for the player to backtrack. Virgil instructs you to go backtrack, get out into
I wish you could.
kind of hub area that you were in previously, before this level. But as I mentioned earlier, like when the lamps are kind of set in place to complete the levels outside the elevator room, you can't really backtrack that easily. So we had to come up with a...
I'm gonna cut that off right there, because I believe you actually could, right? Like, at the end, you end the top section of this with one lamp at the very end, and one lamp on the platforms, like, spinning around. Would you not be able to just, like, put the one that's pointing towards the exit, pointing back towards the start, and then you step on the platform and push the button, or push the button and jump on the platform in the same go, then you would be in the light the entire time, and you would get back, I believe. And then you would come back down here, and here you could just take the lamp right next to me, place that behind the platform I'm on, and yeah, you wouldn't be able to move the platform. That's the issue, I suppose. But, like, surely there must be some way you could have figured out a way to have that be possible to backtrack? Or maybe, I mean, can't you just do the puzzle in reverse? I'm pretty sure you could. I mean, you kind of do once you get out here again through the vent. So yeah, I just feel like it would have been fun if you had both options. Like, you could have the Ellen story and that stuff just be the default option, but then maybe have it so that you could somehow, like, remove the chair from the door that blocks it or something, or just make it so that it's obvious that you're not supposed to backtrack in the door, but you can if you, like, wait around or do something special or something like that. I don't know. I would have liked more just tiny little choices and branches and secrets in this game than just, it really is just you're being herded from one place to the other with no choice, and, like, it makes sense in a game like Portal. It doesn't feel like you're being herded. It doesn't feel like you're being restricted, but in this game it, to me, feels much more like there is no good reason why I am forced to go this way every time. For the most part, it's really good. It's just a little tiny nitpick, honestly. But yeah, could have been a neat thing, I think.
Another idea, and that was to have the elevator crash through the bottom floor of the elevator shaft, and then you would jump down into like a ventilation area, and then backtrack your way out to the downstairs part of the puzzle, and then make your way back from there.
Yeah, and it's nice just to be a little bit behind the scenes again and listen to an Ellen.
Yeah, that was another excuse, or opportunity
yeah.
to have a Ellen tape to explain some more stuff.
And also we are hiding a small reference to a movie that we all really like, Down in the Vents.
Yes.
Maybe you have found a lighter.
Yes.
Is that what it's called? Yeah.
Oh?
So.
We're not going to give anything away.
I don't know what movie that is.
Once you get out of the ventilation system again, it's basically just a walk. You have to catch or go grab the lamp again downstairs and kind of backtrack the same puzzle that you completed first when you entered the room.
That's what I'm saying.
Get out of the entrance where you came in. And yeah, that's basically it. It's one of those puzzles that were really also causing a lot of problems. It's one of the puzzles that has been through most iterations. Like, so, yeah, we said that a couple of times for some puzzles, but yeah, this is one of the more difficult ones.
Yes.
Difficult in many different ways, I think. Yeah, there we go. Alright, now let's check out Lux. Hi, Lux.
Yes, there is a black cat under a ladder.
And a randomized
The
cat sound.
superstition is for the incompetent. Besides, that tiny, fuzzy, adorable creature would never bring bad luck to anyone.
Aw, he's nice. He admits it now. That's good. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna leave it off here for today, but next time I'll continue, and I'm gonna try to do the backtrack thing. I just want to see if it's even possible, so we'll get back to that. Hope you enjoyed. I mean, I basically mentioned, I had the discussion, I commentated the commentary while I was listening to it, so there's not really much to talk about after the fact, so I'll just leave it here. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed. Less me, more devs today, I suppose. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!